At the moment, I'm at a rather embryonic stage of the process just now. I've again, I suppose as a composer you work on all sorts of different projects at any one time, and at the moment I'm sort of toying with some of the instruments that we're going to use for the project, which are quite sort of unconventional. I'm meeting some of the individuals who are going to be involved in the project, and I'm generally just thinking about an overarching concept, I suppose. The instruments we're going to be using in this project are primarily these ones. I've got Skoog here. I have one of these at home, and I've been sort of experimenting and spend my summer probably experimenting with this to find out what it might do, but also to see what it could do by pushing the boundaries of this instrument and the others involved as well. I'm also going to be using sound beam, which is an ultrasonic beam that you can break with your hand, the participants can use, and also something called a bite switch. I think one of the participants will hopefully be using that to trigger sort of musical moments. This is quite an interesting project in terms of the fact that I suppose quite often as a composer, I suppose there's sort of perception that you'll go away and sit in a darkened room somewhere and work in it, and then appear at the front door to the rapturous applause of crowds waiting to hear your next masterpiece. Well, whether that happens or not, I think is negligible, but generally it is quite a solitary pursuit. And actually, for something like this, I'm quite enjoying the interaction with the staff and participants here at Drake Music Scotland. And also being able to sort of work hands-on with the instruments, with the sounds that might sort of give me ideas for things that I would then use later on in the piece. I'm most looking forward to, I suppose, putting the whole thing together, actually. I mean, that's sort of I suppose that's the end goal. I'm enjoying working out, I suppose, how that is actually going to fit together. At the moment, I've very little concept of how that's actually going to work, beyond sort of taking some of these sounds and marrying them with other sounds and finding out what, sort of what's going to come out of that, and working out about how we can integrate the individuals into the project, what they can bring to it. So I suppose the end goal being sort of how it all comes together. I think it's quite exciting, but I am enjoying generally the process of gradually fitting it together as time goes by. I think as a composer, I always get very worried when you see your name appearing on something for a performance of a piece that hasn't actually been written yet, and I think that worries anybody, because you're sort of so far away from the creative process, you're not quite sure what the end product is going to be, especially if you have to sort of talk about it in public. But that's exciting as well. That's sort of giving me sort of ideas, it's spurring me on to come up with something. In this case, I feel very much that the beginnings of the creative process has been done by working with Drake Music Scotland, by working with the individuals here, by meeting some of the individuals that we could potentially work with, and finding out also what their sort of musical interests are. I think that's actually been quite an important part of it. I think it's sort of trying to generate ideas out with of just my own sort of personal creative processes.